Valentine's Day. A whole nother meaning, like always. Life is like a box of chocolates. I'm sure we all heard that. What is a box of chocolates on Valentine's Day? Traditionally, it's the hearts, correct? The red box of hearts with the different flavors. Chocolate. Yummy and delicious chocolates with a different feeling in the middle. So, Valentine's Day, look it up. What is Valentine's Day? What's it meant for? Get the definition. Get all the definitions. Traditionally, biblically, historically, it is what it is. But Valentine's Day, love. What is love, and what does love mean to you? In theory, and of course it's my theory until others discover it. Love, you never know what you're gonna get. Who brought you chocolates today? Who'd you buy chocolates for? What was your intention? What was your gift? Was it symbolic? Was it not? Was it the thought that counted? What was the thought? You can only determine your own thought. But at the same time, the number one question, what was the other person's thought? Does he or she love me? And why? Well, you never know. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get until you think about it. So, biblically, I always like to touch base with biblically, you know, because it's almost pretty close to historically. God speaking, if you ever heard that term, when God speaks. Who are you spending your Valentine's Day with? Is it the same person that's speaking to you? Is it the same person that you follow? Is it the same person you get your advice from? Are you sitting at the dinner table, sharing Valentine's Day, but yet your thought is somewhere else? Where would that be? Where would it be drawn to? God speaks. Love God. That's what they say. Look it up. It's quite interesting. Look it up while you're listening to this. So love God, and it's about the begotten Son. What is the begotten Son to you? What is God to you? Most people would say God's dead. Is he or she sitting at the dinner table with a frown on their face? Is he or she sitting there like a zombie? Is he or she out of it? Do they have no expression? Do they not know what to say? Do they understand? Do you understand? But the average person would just look at it and be like, oh, okay. Does God exist? Is God real? What is God to you? And then they might give it some thought. And on another level, they'd be like, oh, God's a creator, right? If they know a little bit about biblical and stuff like that. But what did he create? Could it be the begotten Son? Now, most people would generally think about creation as procreation. Is it really procreation? Or is it not? What is procreation to you? Is procreation insemination? Or is procreation something else? That's for you to discover. Only the willing will understand, because they're allowing themselves to understand, because it has a lot of theories behind it. But what does your God mean to you? Versus what is God to you? Is God one person? Is God all person? Or is God many people? Or many of a person? There's really a lot of meanings to it. But what was your Valentine's Day like? Was it the quality time? Was it the chocolates? Was it the end of the night? Was it the fun times, the laughters, the smiles, the gifts, the dinner, the roses, and so forth? What do the roses mean to you? Are they from nature? Are they a kind gesture? Traditionally, when do we give people roses? And how do we appreciate the roses? And where do we set them down? Do we put them in the vase to grow? Or do we lay them down on a table? All these actions are very important, because the person that puts them in the vase, they're literally trying to keep them alive. The ones that put them down on a counter or a table, what other place would you put a rose down on a wooden surface? These are very important to understand, because love kills. It's like, the Ed Hardy quote, love kills. Yeah, it has a cool picture, traditional artwork, a dagger with a heart through it. What is that dagger? Is it the pain? Is it the analogy of being stabbed in the back? What could it mean to you? If the Bible says to love God, of course it's not a demand, but maybe it's because you don't know who God is. The interesting factors about all this stuff with love and Valentine's Day, it has symbolic meaning. And then it has real meaning. And then it has hidden meaning. What is your quality of love? And how is it spent? We all have our quality times on Valentine's Day. And it can be meaningful, only to the factors of what highlighted your night. Question it. It's very intriguing. The biblical meaning is very intriguing as well, because nobody very much understands this. The hidden intentions of love. And we can only know this, of course, from ourselves, because we always know our truth. But are we speaking the truth to others? Are we tricking our minds? Or are we eating those traditional box of chocolates, not knowing what flavor we're going to get? It's like playing Russian roulette. So I'll take a bite of this one and throw it to the side. I didn't like it. But what if each chocolate were a person? What is your pattern in life? Are you the type of person that takes a bite of that chocolate and throws it to the side and says you didn't like it? Or do you pick out your certain flavor and give the rest to somebody else? It's like, oh, here, you can have this. Here's my leftovers. What would that mean to you? And how would it have been thought if you were to just think about it? If each person was a chocolate. Now, understanding that this is traditionally spoken with this example, what is tradition? Something that we were taught that was in a process for years and years and years. What if I were to say that you like a certain flavor only because we were taught this, taking a bite and throwing it to the side? We never really identified our own taste of the chocolate filling. Now, yes, of course, chocolate, candy, all that, it doesn't really have feelings, but of course the enjoyment of the candy itself can bring a certain type of happiness, more to a kid than an adult. Some would say, oh, it's too much sugar, I gotta watch my sugar. Some would say, oh, it's a special occasion, I'll go ahead and just, this one day, I'll go ahead and just say it. Or I'll go ahead and just do it. Now, while this is being listened to, are you thinking about the chocolate or the person that you're spending Valentine's Day with? Because it can go either way. But love is mysterious. And love can also be thankful. So as each person hands you that box of chocolate or a bouquet of roses and you say thank you, what are you thinking? If your thank you was an open door that's opening, what are you saying thank you to? Know the person's intention before you say thank you. Even though most people will say thank you because it was a kind gesture. But the thank you has an interpretation from the person that's giving. So your thank you will allow the person with the intention to possibly think it's okay, because that rose or that candy perhaps could have a different meaning to the one that's giving. But know what God is, and know what a goddess can be. Because sometimes we forget about what love really is. It can also be a thankful type of thought with no gift being given. Now, if I had to say thank you to what I do know of my own knowledge, I would be able to then turn all my bads into a kindness of good. If you're a person that's been down and not having the best type of Valentine's Day, which most people would consider love, and you're one of those people that get that crappy end of the stick, so to speak, and you have all this negativity to talk about, I can honestly say I didn't get this far by not being aware of this. But I would have to thank my love for allowing me to understand the realness of life. To be able to bring me down to my lowest point, yet understand the proper way with truth. Not because of what's done to me, but because of what I taught myself. How to be and how not to be. I can definitely thank an individual for not loving me, because it allowed me to love and to know how to love. Now, understanding the not loving term would be the proper way. Every relationship's going to have its ups and downs. There's going to be moments where the love doesn't seem like love, or maybe the love gets lost. But to know what love really is isn't quite simple. It's one of the hardest factors of life to be able to understand. And yes, it has its commitments. And yes, it has its downfalls. But to be able to not love, sometimes you'll open your door to be able to love properly. Love has its ups and downs. But most of all, love has to be straightforward. And in a relationship, it does take two. But at the same time, who is thanking you? And for what? Because there is a wrong and right type of things on both sides of the parties. But understand what life is and how it can be understood as a box of chocolates, not knowing what you're going to get. Perhaps we should pick our own gifts out, because then you would know what you want. At least that's my thought on it. The surprise is quite interesting, yet the knowing is even better. That's that peeking at your present, wanting to know so bad. Perhaps surprises aren't the best thing in life, because it's the knowing that really counts. Now, what if we were all to know what's ahead of us? Then life wouldn't be a surprise, right? Roses, candies, chocolates, kisses and hugs, rose petals, bubble baths. It's all great. Until the surprise question comes up. The next day, when Valentine's Day is over. That one time a year shouldn't it be like that for a lifetime? Without the gifts, without the chocolates, without the rush in the store, and the seasonal spirit that puts you in the mood. Of what? Because it is a different type of seasonal spirit holiday. It's like what led you to the store in the first place. And why? Was it all worth it in the end? Was the drink good? Were the chocolate strawberries yummy? How did you bite the chocolate? Did you notice the drip? Or did they notice the drip? Life is quite interesting. And so is love. Know what you're giving and know why it's being given to you. Better yet, know what you're giving and know why you're giving it. Know what love is. I know what love is not. And I know what love is. But sometimes love is in the fast lane. And other love is faster than other. But should love really be moving that fast? Or should it be enjoyed throughout life? Because love can be very fragile. Just like someone's emotions. And the emotions are a ride. And they do get a little bumpy. And it can get a little chilly. And it could be a little warm. But those are the moments that are spent seasonal. So perhaps Valentine's Day shouldn't exist. Or maybe it should. Know what the spirit is behind Valentine's Day. Because the main mascot for Valentine's Day is Cupid with an arrow. Now, yes, it does have a suction cup, but what if it had an actual arrow? And who would you be shooting towards? And how would you save them? Because you can't save them from your own intention. Only they can save themselves. Little Cupid with wings. It's cute until you understand it. For Cupid to have wings in a diaper is kind of interesting. Is Cupid a matchmaker? Or is Cupid targeting? Because I wouldn't want to get shot by Cupid at all. Why does Cupid have wings? I don't understand how the wings and the bow and arrow go together. You know, being angel-like. The meaning of an angel, the meaning of an earth angel. Should an earth angel really have a bow and arrow? And what would they be shooting? Or what would be their target? I can honestly say that an earth angel should be shooting their mouth in the proper direction, with the proper understanding, with the proper knowledge. And perhaps that's what this message is about. Is know what Valentine's Day is. Because sometimes God talks. Sometimes we can hear him or her. Do they know? Probably not. Do they overlook it? Probably so. Do they think it's crazy? Of course. Would they be afraid to speak of it to their spouse? Heck yeah. But perhaps it's a discovery that they didn't know could have been the best discovery of a lifetime. Perhaps it was the love that was overlooked. Some people will never know this meaning. Other people will catch on to this meaning. Some might question it. Some might think about it for a while. But when they say love God, understand what the begotten Son is. Because our love as parents may not be understood that the begotten Son is a sacrifice. And what is the sacrifice? Can be looked at in many ways. Could it be a surrender? Probably not. Now the sacrifice doesn't mean that it's a gory sacrifice. It's a very meaningful sacrifice. And everybody's child has sacrificed themselves to their parent with trust. Do they know the proper meaning of love? Of course not. Is it our job to show them? Of course. Know why the begotten Son is sacrificed. And also know why a child can be put through the most bumpiest and roughest ride that ever existed. Perhaps a child will never know until they get older. Perhaps it's our duty to understand this, to be able to not allow the normal cycles of life to affect our children. Because our children, and in a biblical meaning, can be sacrificed to this world itself. Because the world isn't such a pretty place to live in, but we all have to live in this world. We have to understand it, we have to acknowledge it, and we have to be comfortable with it. But know the behaviors of our own relationship will affect our own children. Love. What does it mean to you? It can be good or bad. Until it's understood, then we don't know what kind of chocolate we're going to bite into. A preference of love is different from knowing what love is. There's a major meaning to this message. Hopefully it allows others to understand. Because I was able to understand more than I did know yesterday. All because of Valentine's Day. Why is it red when blue looks good on you? Why is it red when yellow looks fabulous? Why is Valentine's Day a red color day? Perhaps it's a test of our own root system. Red has meaningful wonders. Some prefer pink, which could be a little spicy. Colors, roses, chocolates, gifts, it's all wonderful until it's actually understood properly. Temporarily, Valentine's Day, 24 hours. What are you receiving in 24 hours? How will you wake up that next day? Would it be with the same love card? Or would it be with a different number? Who knows? It's better late than never. Love. It's an interesting subject. Don't love be hate. Because when love is hate, it's not that you're actually hating. It's that you actually love. It's actually you hate what you love. Perhaps that hate causes some type of behavioral effect, whether it's shamefulness or discouragement or sadness or that oh wow factor, I can't believe I did this. But it's a pattern that needs to be broken anyways. But hateful love, it's like, is it really towards a person or is it really towards itself? These are things that a lot of people don't really think about. So understand what love is. Chocolates. How come there's no white chocolates in the little red boxes? Interesting. The analogy can go for hours and hours, but at least allow yourself to have an option. Why variety? Why not just one whole flavor? So the ones buying the gift can actually know what they're getting or giving. Same thing applies to either or. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite jewelry? Why are they shopping in the first place, trying to figure out what you like? Shouldn't they know what you like? Probably not, because love is never expressed. How are you expressing your love? Why not just take your love and let them buy their own gift? So many wonders of Valentine's Day. But don't let Cupid shoot you, because it can be kind of painful if you don't know what Cupid means. Either or way. Whether Cupid's a matchmaker or Cupid's targeting, don't be the target. Don't let Cupid target you. It's a touchy subject. But always understand what it means by love God, because it goes in many ways. And don't run when God actually speaks, because it could be the most important message of your life. And know why God is speaking to you, and know what God is before you understand what's spoken. There's a lot of interesting factors in life, but always understand the main voice of many.